I used to sell drugs because if you take enough drugs, the only way you can support your habit is to sell to others. I did notice that among my clients, I like the pot users the most because their lives never went anywhere. They remain customers forever. And I hate to burst your bubble, but I'll be frank with you now. If you are a marijuana smoker, I would vastly prefer you switch to heroin, and here's why. Heroin will take you down faster, and you can then pick yourself up and start your life. Because marijuana is the drug of illusion. It creates the illusion that you are thinking great thoughts and doing great things while you're sitting on the sofa growing a beard.
All right, guys, so we all know John went nuts from drugs, and we all know doing heroin is not going to be the answer here, but nonetheless, he speaks a lot of truth here, and I want to talk about drugs, specifically weed, okay? I have seen in my life, I've smoked a lot of weed. I've even used weed as of recent. I've tried some really strong CBD with a little bit of THC, and I was able to see exactly what this drug was doing to me because of how aware and present I am these days and how much training I have. And let me tell you guys, this stuff is an illusion. I'll start by sharing with you my story. Just a few months ago, I took a super high dose of a CBD with some THC. I was up all night until 4:35 a.m. writing things down, thinking I was in this amazing state, thinking I had all of these breakthroughs. And sure enough, I wake up at 9 or 10 in the morning, and everything that I thought was genius, I realized was not tethered to reality, was not grounded in reality. It was not actually the way that I think on a normal sober basis, and I like the way that I think. We have a rule with the Spirit of a Man retreats, like no substances for at least a month coming to this retreat. And then you have guys who sneak in weed for the weeks leading up to the retreat. They are clearly different than everyone else that comes. When you're in that dojo doing this retreat work, because we dive very, very deep with how each person flavors the room with their essence, with their spirit, with their soul, with their emotions. And you could see so clearly that the weed smokers are in their own little bubble, completely unable to feel deeply, completely unable to accept or see reality as it is. And they are running away from something and using the weed to numb their pain. It is so obvious in that retreat setting that that is a numbing agent, and it takes the edge off, right? Humans are these creatures that love taking the edge off because the edge is so painful. It's so painful to be alive. It's so painful to feel your emotions, to have the big spectrum of emotional swings in a given day or a given week. And the thing is, other animals thrive on the edge. Lions, they don't know when their next meal is coming. They don't know where they're sleeping. Tomorrow is uncertain, but that keeps them in their prime. It is very, very, very rare to have a human being smoking weed and for that individual to actually be in their prime. Now, like Nick Diaz would be an exception because he would smoke weed and be a world-class UFC fighter. But most people are not like that. Most people are going to go into comfort, and whatever weed gives them in creative flow or thinking outside the box, it takes away with laziness and delusion. This is what we see at my retreats. We see men who smoke weed are delusional. You have a group of 12 guys giving them direct feedback and truth about how they show up in their life and how they show up to the space. And it's truth. Like when you have 12 guys all agreeing, and this is not like I'm convincing them to say it. You have 12 guys who are all agreeing on, wow, you are making me feel this way. You are bringing this kind of vibe into the room. When you have 12 guys agreeing, you can almost guarantee it's truth. And the weed smokers never want to accept it. They have all these reasons why it's wrong, defenses, ego protections, and that is fundamentally what weed does to you. You create your own bubble of reality, you convince yourself, you go into illusion and delusion, and you don't let anyone else in. And you can see the comments on this video, certain comments that I want to talk about, right? Like this guy, right? He said, I own my own company, have flown all over the world, raised 3 children, I've been married for 21 years, and I've smoked pot every day since I was 15 years old. First of all, maybe his life would be proving my theory incorrect, but here's what I believe to be true. Just because you are successful or you have checked off the box of raising the children, running your company, making money, just because you've actually created a life for yourself, because by the way, guys, these pot smokers that come to these retreats, they've also created a life for themselves. They also have wife. They also have kids. Last retreat, the guy was a multi-millionaire. But the delusion and the illusion remains true. You can have all of those things and still be completely disconnected from reality and from truth. You can still be super invested in your own bubble and unable to receive feedback, receive life from other people, because you're just in your protective bubble. So I'm not saying that by default, if you smoke weed, you'll be broke. There are, of course, exceptions, but if you consistently smoke weed, you will be taking the edge off, you will be numbing yourself and desensitizing yourself, and you will not be able to face all of the harsh truths about your life, about yourself, about your emotional state. And that is what the deep work of transformation is, to actually face your material at the deepest level, to actually look at it, alchemize it, face it, own it, every day, in every way. It sounds exhausting, doesn't it? Like you just want to cruise by and when can I just check out and when is life going to get easy? It never gets easy. It never gets fucking easy if you are on a path of transformation and you're devoted to truth. If you are devoted to having a good death and actually going somewhere interesting when you die and not just getting recycled, every day in every way you have to look at your material, you have to face yourself, you have to be on the edge. It's the opposite of comfort. I have spent countless hours, maybe hundreds of hours, smoking weed and meditating. So I would smoke weed, this was back in like 2013 or so, 2014, 2015, smoke weed and meditate and feel exactly what the substance was doing to me. And I even did it recently with the CBD experience. And I'll tell you what it does. I suspect that people who are smoking weed have a deep, deep need and desire to let go. And they don't know how to let go. But here's the thing. When you do drugs to let go, like Percocets or Xanax or weed, it's the illusion of letting go. It takes you into a mental astral space that feels like you're careless. It genuinely does. It feels like you care less. It feels like you're letting go, but it's not an embodied nervous system experience of actually letting go the way that meditation is, the way that proper training, proper guidance, practitioners, techniques. There are techniques that allow you to have an actual, real, full body nervous system letting go. It takes work and it takes willpower and it takes intention. It's exhausting sometimes. You just don't have it. So you just want to take a pill. It's always an illusion when you take a pill, when you smoke the weed. It's not an actual letting go. It takes you into a space, you get a vacation from your material, and as soon as you come back to your material, you are at square one. You have not chipped away. You have not let go. If you've ever tried sleeping by taking Xanax, I took a lot of Xanax back in the day. I've even taken sleeping pills. It's not real sleep. There's even books written about it. There's even scientific studies that show that when you take a sleeping pill, you have zero restoration on a biological level. Xanax is the same thing. You're not actually restoring your system. It's all a booby trap. It's all an illusion. And then you're going to think, wow, is life really this fucking exhausting? Is life really this fucking hard that I have to even work to let go? Yes. Yes, it is. This is the grand game of hide and seek on this planet. It's not supposed to be easy. It's challenging here. And yes, you do have to work hard in order to let go. You have to work hard in every arena of life. Nothing comes easy. Anything that seems free, like popping a Xanax and just gonna pop a Xanax, drink a beer and watch football, you are not doing anything for yourself. You're not even letting go. You're not even resting. You're in purgatory. There is no benefit to that. Yes, you might sleep a little bit. You're better off doing that than like taking Adderall and staying up all night. But what people don't understand is you're not actually restoring yourself on a biological level. There's nothing free. All of these substances are all similar in that they take you somewhere in an illusion that you're letting go, and then you're plopped back into your body and you're at square one. So that is what I observed in my thousands of clients, observed in myself meditating by smoking weed. It is not a fruitful, rewarding experience. Now, can you do it in a way that would be ceremonial in the right set and setting and it actually give you benefit? Yes, of course. But on average, the way it's being used, furthermore, by the way it's grown, massive amounts of heavy metals. It's all cartel. A lot of this weed is cartel weed now. So even just on a physical level, forget all these energetic properties, on a physical level, you have toxicity, you have pesticides, insecticides, all different kinds of inorganic fertilizers and bullshit into the soils and into the process. So the actual weed is toxic itself as well. And also, it takes you out of your body. When people smoke a lot of weed, their face is different. Their energy is different. You can see like the demon of weed in their energy. You can see it at retreats. So is it the devil? No. Should you use it? No, I don't think so. I think once every 3 years, if you want to take a little puff to have a different mindset, okay. But every day or even every weekend or even every month, you are taking away from your life, okay? And so do heroin instead. That's the summary, all right? That's the lesson. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. I'm going to leave it there. Peace out.